Welcome to Reaching Out. My name is Gregory Floyd, President Local 237 Teamsters. Today, our guest is New York State Comptroller Tom Dinapoli. Tom, welcome to the show.
Greg, glad to be on the show with you.
Thank you. Tell us the job of the New York State Comptroller.
Well, there's a lot involved with the office, and it's a question I'm asked many times because people have heard the title, they know it has something to do with money or with finances, and not quite sure what the job does. And that's because we have a big impact on the operations of New York State, but some of it may be less familiar with people. So, for instance, we sign off on the contracts that the state is involved with. So if you're a not-for-profit and you have a contract with the state, if you're a vendor and you're doing business with the state, our office has to sign off on the contract over a certain size in order for you to get the payment. And then we process those payments. So we're very important to the business functioning of the state. We handle the payroll for state employees. So every 2 weeks we've got to make sure that the state workers are getting paid. We manage the retirement system, which is very important to state workers and municipal workers outside of New York City. As you well know,
yes.
In New York City, employees have their own pension plans, and then there's the teachers' retirement system. But we have the largest of the pension funds. We have over 1 million members between state and local government employees. So we have to make sure the benefits are in order, and we also invest the money to earn money to pay for those pensions. We comment on state fiscal practices, state budgets, so we have a very important role in that regard. Another very important area that I'll mention, and there are some others, but these are the highlights. We provide the accountability role, the watchdog role, through our audits. So we do about 600 audits a year, about 400 of local governments, about 200 of state agencies, and we look to see how taxpayer money is being spent with a view towards recommending about how we can be more efficient. It's very important in these tough times where every dime counts. So we do a lot of different things, all of it very important, though, to the people of the state of New York.
What is the state of the New York state finances these days?
Well, we're in a very tough situation. We've been hit very hard by the economy. It continues to be a very, very slow recovery. And, of course, in New York, we've had some structural issues with our budget that really have been laid bare with this tough economy where revenues have come in less than we would have liked. We just issued a report for what we call our cash report, which really looks at where the finances are at for the month of June, the most recent month that we have numbers for. And we find that really for only the second time in modern history of New York State, our general fund, which is a key indication of the fiscal health of the state, is in a shortfall by about $87 million. So what that tells us is that we still are in a very tough fiscal situation. We have the reserves to cover our payments, but the general fund should not be in the red. What that means is that we have to do two things. First of all, we need to get the state budget completed. As you know, we've had a very difficult process this year, and the budget's been put together on a piecemeal basis, and there's still one budget bill that has to be acted upon, and until that's done, we can't say the budget's complete. What we also clearly have to do is monitor very carefully for the balance of this fiscal year, just as we've been doing for many months now. Monitor very carefully how much money are we spending, what's the state of our revenues. We're really having to manage the cash of the state. Division of Budget does this, and obviously the governor's office, we play a role as well, but we have to monitor this really on a daily basis to make sure that the state doesn't run out of money.
And for those who are listening and those who are watching on cable TV, I want to say this interview is being taped prior to the budget agreement, so at the time this may air, the agreement may be reached and we might have a state budget in place, and we don't want you to think that the New York State Comptroller does not know what he's talking about.
And we certainly hope by the time it's aired there's a budget,
yes, we
final
do.
budget agreement, because
now we're all in trouble.
That's very, very important. So really, we're still in a tough situation. I should mention, Greg, that some of the revenues are coming in stronger than last year, so there are some positive signs out there. Withholding personal income tax, that's ahead of last year. Last year was a very down year, again, because of the economy. Sales tax collections are also up. Where we're still seeing a big weakness, though, is in business tax collections. Again, I think that's reflective of some of the challenges with our economy right now. So the revenue picture is a mixed picture right now. And even on spending, we're seeing in some parts of the budget spending is being controlled a little more tightly than was initially projected. But there are other areas of the budget, particularly the Medicaid expense, which is continuing to go up. And some of that's reflective of our economy, where people have been in a difficult situation, having a need to access government services. So no surprise where caseloads are up, we're going to be spending more money. So we're in a very tight fiscal situation still.
I'm Gregory Floyd. This has been Reaching Out. Our guest was Tom Dinapoli, New York State Comptroller. Tom, thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Greg. It was a pleasure. Thank you.